Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Ring Ring Roundtable. Today, I want to share with you a new feature from Google. It's a new dashboard called Google My Business Insight. And this dashboard is pretty neat. It tells you a wealth of critical information about your Google directory listing. For example, how many people are calling you, number of people visiting your website. And this dashboard will really give you an insight into the effectiveness of your offline and online marketing campaign. And it also share with you ways you can generate more business from your business listing. So let's get into it. So first of all, what is Google listing, right? So you can see that, for example, for masonry glass, whenever people are looking for masonry glass, this is their Google listing, Google profile listing on Google. And this from a mobile snapshot. Obviously, this local listing, directory listing, once you're ranked in local search, you can access that listing from here and from Maps, right? So once you're ranked in Google Maps, people will easily find you there. So this dashboard really just to give you insight how many people are engaging with your Google listing. So let's get into it. How do you get there? Is you go on google.com/business, right? This is how you interact and this is how you access your Google listing. This is how you update your Google listing. So it's the same dashboard. Once you get in there, there's a new tab over here called Insights. Click on Insights. Then you'll start to see wealth of information on the right-hand side. Typically, the first thing you will see is queries used to find your business. So you get to see the keywords that people are finding your business listing. And typically, you'll see some brand-based keywords in here as well. This is a replacement window company, so it's good that you're ranked for replacement windows, meal guards, sliding glass doors, right? That's how people are finding this company, right? Not particularly this one, but find them from local search and from map listing. So it's always good to see, hey, what kind of keywords are you being ranked for? Next is how customers search your business. So this is pretty interesting. Is you can see there's about 21,000 searches that appeared on their local directory listing. And about 91% are discovery. Discovery means they're not looking for this particular business, right? Direct is. Only about 8% of customers know they're looking for this business by either typing in their business name or address. But that's pretty neat, right? 91% of the searches, they are ranked somehow. That's how people discover them. And how does this translate? So let's see a few more things here. Is you'll see that a quarter's worth of data here, they appeared on Google's search engine about 16,000 times. That's a lot. And on the map listing, about 5,600 times. So let's deep dive into this a little bit more. Listing on search. That could be people trying to find you. Right? They type in your business name. You appear here on the right-hand side on the knowledge panel. But for this, if you scroll down, typically if people aren't looking particularly for your business name, they will also be able to find you by typing in, for example, the city based and the type of service they want. If you're ranked in here, that will be considered listing on search. Listing on maps is slightly different, is they go to the map view, either from your mobile device or from desktop. So this is the map listing. So appearing on here, search and maps, they're different. Search is physically showing up on Google's search engine, and typically is you're showing up in this 3-pack here, local listing. And listing on maps is on the map view. So let's deep dive into this a little bit furthermore. Is what's the result from these searches? Because not all these searches and map listings will result in a phone call, right? So that's what, if you scroll down further on the dashboard, it will show you exactly number of actions. So for this business, there's 956 actions here. 582 people went on to the website, 140 request directions, and 234 calls. That's a lot, right? So let's deep dive into these further. Visits to your website. So how can they find that, right? It's from desktop. Once you're ranked in local search, they will click this. That attributed one visit to your website. Or mobile device, right? On mobile device, if they tap website, that will attribute to a website visit. Request directions. That's the second one here, request directions. On desktop, they can hit directions, and on mobile devices, they can also hit directions. Most likely they're ready to come over to your showroom. That's where they're hitting directions using GPS. Next is calls, right? How can you track call you, number of calls? From desktop, of course, it cannot track. It's only when they're using their mobile devices, then whenever they tap this call, then Google can track this, right? They actually did call you. So that's a lot, right? 234 calls. Okay, so it's a very meaningful data, right? Visit to your website, request directions, and call you. So this literally means once you're ranked in local search, in the map section here, and also obviously in the map section on the left-hand side, you typically do get quite a bit of engagement here. So if you scroll further down on the dashboard, it also show you phone calls. Those 234 calls, which days of the week, right? Which day of the week are you getting the calls? And as you can tell, pretty light on weekends as expected. But interesting for this company here, they get more calls on Thursdays. Okay, but typically, right, weekdays are a little more busier than weekends. But if you do see that you do have quite a bit of calls on weekends, it might be a good idea to get an answering service for the weekend. Next is photo views. Further scrolling down the dashboard, you'll see photo views. And this is very interesting. Photo views is once you go into your directory listing again, anytime somebody finds your directory listing, besides looking at just the reviews, your address, right, locations, is they will typically tab more photos. They want to take a look at pictures. And that's pretty staggering. You can see that many people are actually looking for pictures. They're interacting with your listing, looking at pictures. So this basically tells you that, first of all, you got to make sure this is you. You got to have more interactions, photo views than business like you. So for this particular business, right, slightly better. But this basically tells us you got to be adding more photos, right? So anytime somebody uses their phone, especially if they tap this, they want to engage with this listing. They want to look at a lot of photos before they call you or before they visit your website. So the more pictures you can load onto your local listing, your business directory listing, the more engagement. Okay. So this is pretty new. I think this came out just recently, and it really is a good way to share with you this insight dashboard here, the engagement. So from this, you get to tell, right, number of people calling you, visiting your website. That's pretty neat. And especially you're doing quite a bit of offline marketing, you can tell based on brand searches, direct is most likely effectiveness of your offline marketing, your branding. This should continue to go up. And as you get ranked more and more in local search, this whole pie should continue to grow bigger and bigger, right? So this is pretty new. This is something that you cannot really get data from any of other Google's tools, such as Google Analytics. So I encourage you to go in there, play with it, and from this you should be able to further optimize your Google listing to be highly ranked and get more business. Okay, you have any questions? Feel free to reach out to me.